I am resenting 143 because every part of it sucks. I love it when ChatGPT becomes sentient and makes music. She's lost me. You're losing me. When you la-da-dee, you start losing me. This is a joke. I'm being pranked. Oh my God. It's giving Dollar General, Dua Lipa. What the fuck are you talking about? This is what I imagine being swallowed by a whale and rattling around in its giant mouth with all the krill sounds like. I can like hear the whale's innards digesting, and I can hear its saliva swooshing. Well, the day has finally come. Katy Perry's album 143 is here, and I have to listen to it. If I can really speak my truth and be honest with you for a second, I don't want to listen to this album. And that is because the pre-release singles have honestly silenced me with their atrocity. It is really a disappointing isn't even really a strong enough word to describe how I felt about these pre-release singles, and the inclusion of Dr. Luke on this project makes me hate it already before it exists. And I actually, contrary to popular belief, don't like to give negative reviews. I want the pop girls to win and succeed. I love pop music. I'm a huge fan of pop culture. I also especially have very fond attachments to Katy Perry. I really like her as a character, but you know, I'm starting to think differently about her character after her decision to work with Dr. Luke this extensively and this unabashedly without ever really explaining why. And I also, you know, just think that she hasn't been able to score a hit or a good song or a good album in many, many years. And I'm going to be extrapolating a lot on why I think Katy Perry's career is reached a total implosion point in my Sunday video this week, where I will be going through basically a career autopsy of Katy Perry. It's over an hour long. It's a very detailed, well-researched script, and I hope that you will tune in for that to hear my full thoughts on like how we got to be where we are with Katy Perry. But I think it's important to like note off the bat that I got accused on TikTok of starting a Katy Perry hate train. In fact, of being paid to start one. First of all, I don't need to start a Katy Perry hate train. It's happening whether I'm on it or not. And that is completely a consequence of her decision to work with Dr. Luke and make bad music. That is all to do with her. And there's no conspiracy that is out to get her. These songs are not landing, and the Katy Cats have been pretty aggressive with me. But you know, the proof is in the pudding. Are the songs charting? Is the album going to sell? Are people listening to the music? If the answer is no, and you're camping out in the comments section screaming at people, maybe you should just redirect that energy into streaming this album that you think is so good and you think is so fun and carefree. I personally will not be channeling my energy in that direction. I have a feeling that I will be listening to this album once and never revisiting it again. And I want to touch a little bit more on the Dr. Luke thing, because the Katy Cats have been very delusional in my comment section, saying that Katy's under some sort of contract. That's one of their excuses they love to use. And, you know, she actually isn't under a contract to work with Dr. Luke. She is not signed to his label Imprint, and she hasn't worked with him since Prism, during which she's released 2 albums and numerous singles. So she's not contractually obligated to work with Dr. Luke. This is a choice that she's making. And if you think that that choice is fine to make, that's all well and good. But don't try and act like she was forced into doing this, because as she said in her interview with Alex Cooper, very clearly she wanted to work with Dr. Luke. This was her choice. So my empathy for whatever blowback she gets from making that decision is extremely limited, because she made the decision. And if you didn't do your social listening, if you didn't go out and see how people were feeling about Dr. Luke, if you failed to do a sentiment analysis, then I fail to resonate with feeling sorry for you that people are being mean because you're working with someone who has been terrible to women in the music industry. I stand with Kesha. I believe Kesha, and I believe all the other women that have come forward and said that he was a terror to work with. He is, by all accounts, a huge ego who is very difficult to work with. I have a little bit of compassion for artists who are contractually obligated to work with him, although they seem to be fewer and further between. There are other artists like Kim Petras and Doja Cat who have worked with Dr. Luke. And another thing that I hear from the Katy Cats is, well, why don't you criticize them? Can you find a single video on my channel or my TikTok about Kim Petras or Doja Cat? No, I very consciously choose not to support artists or talk about artists who work with Dr. Luke, because I don't support him. I don't think he's a good person. I don't think that he should be allowed in the music industry. And I feel very vindicated by that take, because there is an argument that people like to make, which is, well, if the art is good, can't we just look past the person? There's no need to even have that discussion, because the work sucks. The stuff he has done on this Katy Perry record so far is garbage. It's really some of the worst work the two of them together have ever put their little heads together and created. So, this is karma. Karma is my boyfriend. It's my God. It's the breeze in the hair on the weekend. And, you got what was coming to you because you made this decision. And, you're an adult in this world. So if you make a decision like that, you have to be willing to reap the consequences. The only way that her working with Dr. Luke was ever going to work in her favor is if she managed to pull off a Teenage Dream 2.0. And this literally couldn't be further from the iconic moment of Teenage Dream that came and went. So more on all of this and why I think this album is completely dead-eyed and hollow before I've even listened to it in my Sunday video. And I'm stalling now because I just don't want to listen to it. But here we go. Let's listen to the worst pop album of 2024. I'm also a critic. That is my job. My job is to critique pop music. And that is what I'm doing here today. So if your feelings are personally hurt by this, I recommend that you take a walk. I recommend that you get a life. I recommend that you go to your job. This is my job. I'm doing it. And, if you're disrespectful or horrible to me in the comment section, then I will block you and you won't be allowed to say that anymore. But to everyone else that may be new here, my name is Zach. I make thoughtful weekly videos about pop culture, and I like to talk about pop culture from an analytical lens. And as I mentioned, you will be getting a lot more of that in my Sunday video. But today I'm going to be reacting to an album that I know I'm not going to like. This is unfortunate. I've never actually gone into a reaction video being like, I know I'm not going to like this album. I have always been willing to be surprised, and I am always willing to be surprised. Maybe somehow every other song on this dastardly record will become amazing. But you know what? I would bet good money that that's not going to happen. If you're seeing this video, then I've successfully avoided being copyrighted, but there is a big chance that this is just going to get taken down. And what I started doing for all of my reactions after what happened with my short and sweet reaction is putting them available on my Patreon for purchase. So if you don't want to get a subscription to my Patreon, which you really should if you like thoughtful content, you can just go and buy one-off reactions. There's a bunch of them up there and they're all unedited. So if you would like to see my full unvarnished reactions that are not chopped down for copyright or pitched, then that's where they are. I'm also going to listen to at least some of the pre-release singles because I think it's important that we contextualize this album, and it's very short. Mercifully, it's only 11 tracks long. Let's start with the flop of the century, Woman's World, a song about, it being a woman's world and everybody loving being a woman and being a woman being amazing when Roe v. Wade has been overturned and you're working with Dr. Luke as a producer. Let's talk about that. Sexy, soulless, so dead behind the eyes, not to mention melodically uninteresting. She's a sister, she's a mother, she's a chair, she's a table, that's the sky. All right, that's about as much as I can bear to listen to. Capitol Records and Katy Perry's team. Are you guys okay? How are you guys feeling? Like, that this is hugely embarrassing, right? Like, that you grossly miscalculated not only what Katy Perry was capable of, but what the market wants. It's just so humiliating on so many different fronts. As a record label, you pay people to do market research, and you couldn't figure out that nobody wanted this? It's weird. Okay, the next song is a song called Gimme Gimme featuring 21 Savage. I'm sure it's going to be the most profound thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Pots and pans. Okay, Beyonce said that 7 years ago, and it was great when she did it. Kitty, kitty, wanna come party tonight. I don't even have anything like clever to say. This is just horrible. Where's the story? I thought 143 was about love, but oh, this can't be a lyric. Crawling on me like a centipede. Oh no. Oh no. This is the worst one I've heard. This sounds like an unfinished song. This sounds like one of Sia's horrifying demos, like before she even figures out what the song is gonna be, and it's just like random vocalizations and words. Oh my god, it's so boring. This is gonna be a long day. This is gonna be a long day. I feel so sorry for every collaborator that got roped into this project, because imagine receiving this track. It sounds like a dial tone and a keypad. Bloop, 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 with a little beatboxing over it. This is like, this is actually worse than what I was anticipating, and I'm one song in. Oh no. Oh, this makes me sad. I'm sad. I'm sad about this. Katy Perry, I want to like you so bad. And I want to believe that you are capable of something other than this. But this is like, I can't even think of a song recently that came out that made me feel disgusted in this way. It's, again, my whole thing with this project is it's called 143. It's about love, apparently. And what is the story? What is the message? There is nothing to glean from this. The production isn't interesting. The melodies are boring as hell. There isn't a melody in that. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. That's it. That's the entire thing. Baby Shark is literally more advanced melodically than this. It's catchy at the very least. The lyrics are, I mean, Katy Perry is a bad lyricist, but this is like reaching new lows. I think that ChatGPT actually could write something better because it's a language model. So it has so many examples to pull from. I don't know where Katy's getting her inspiration from. Kitty, kitty, wanna come party tonight. Trippy, trippy, daddy, take me on a ride. If you want my body, gotta blow my mind. And you know what's interesting to me? These songs are all vaguely about being a bad bitch and like being a freak, which is just what people are saying in popular culture, which is of course why Katy Perry has decided to hop on the bandwagon. And in her interviews, she's speaking about this very like wholesome, down-to-earth family life that she has with Orlando Bloom and her daughter. So again, there's a disconnect between Katy Perry, the person, and this character on the page. And unfortunately, the character on the page is nothing at all. It bears no resemblance to who Katy Perry is as a person. I'm going off about one song. I don't want to listen to more. It shocks me. It's silencing me. Up next is a song called Gorgeous featuring Kim Petras. I'm not a Kim Petras fan for all the reasons I stated at the top of this video. I also just don't really think her music is that interesting or good. But Gorgeous, I listened to, because I was doing my research, a bunch of interviews with Katy Perry talking about 143. And she is, I thought, suspiciously unable to speak intelligently about what music is on this record. And now I know why, because there is nothing to speak intelligently about. And what she had to say about this song, when she was asked, why did you create it? What did you have in mind? Usually, you know, you have a feeling or there was like an experience that inspired you. Katy Perry, shill, walking billboard, said, I think that this song will play in the back of a lot of makeup tutorials on TikTok. If that is the lens through which you are creating music in 2024, in our godly year of Sabrina Carpenter and Chappell Roan and Taylor Swift and Beyonce and Ariana Grande all doing interesting, emotionally charged projects, you're not equipped. You're not equipped. So let's listen to this. I'm sure it's going to be horrendous. Maybe this one will be at least fun. Oh my God, I hate this alien soundscape. Oh my God. Boring, flat beats. I know a song called Gorgeous by Taylor Swift. It also has a bleep bloop instrumental, but it sounds a lot better than this. Oh, here we go. Back to the one note verse. If you want the digits to my cellular. That's how people talk. Yep, that's how people speak. In 143 world, maybe. I can't even laugh because it's not funny. It's like pissing me off how bad this is. Oh my God, I hate that. That fucking cell phone tone. Does this song make you feel gorgeous, girls? Are you feeling gorgeous? It should be depressed. It should be ashamed. It should be humiliated. Not gorgeous. What is this song about? Nothing. Again, the answer is nothing. Every fucking song on this record is about nothing. Again, with the 5 years too late references. Jump to put jeans on. Savages, I presume. Been there, done that by cooler people. It shocks me that these are Dr. Luke instrumentals because I know that he is talented, much as I begrudge and dislike him. It's almost like he's trying to sabotage Katy Perry, or he's just like completely lost the plot due to being a terrible person. Very possible. The number one complaint that you hear from me on this channel is when I'm listening to new music, these songs are too short. These songs are too long. Bring back the 1 minute, 30-second song. We need Pink Pantheress length on 143 because giving her more space to sing more lines and do more damage is Embarrassing. Up next is I'm His, He's Mine, which I think is probably the best song so far. And that is setting a bar lower than has ever been set before. Thank you, Doechii, for putting some personality and character on this embarrassing mess. I can almost get with this song until we get to the la-di-da. That's when it veers into the dial tone sounds that exist all over this record inexplicably. Okay, that's all I can handle. I'm like trying to get through this. I don't want to linger here for too long because it's pissing me off. It's literally pissing me off how bad this is. It's embarrassing that you as a pop star are shoving this down our throat and that this album campaign has been going on for 2 months, and it's embarrassing miss after embarrassing miss. At a certain point, it's like, if you don't care about being creative and making good music, which you clearly don't, Katy Perry, because you're unable to articulately explain what these songs are, what they mean to you, what the process behind creating them was, and you can't do that because you don't give a flying you-know-what about this music. You don't care about being a pop star anymore. You don't care about making good music. You want to make money. You want to go back on tour because you need it. You have to sell your masters really quickly for whatever reason. This is a cash grab if I ever heard one. And the ironic thing is that you actually, as a pop star, generally have to make something good in order to get that cash grab. And there are plenty of good albums that are cash grabs. For example, Torture Poets Department having the anthology side released to it as well, cash grab. However, there's enough good stuff on that I'm like, okay, I'm glad that I have this. When something is overtly a cash grab and also bad, it makes you resent having to encounter it. And I am resenting 143 because every part of it sucks. All right, up next is a song called Crush. I can't, where is the inspiration for this instrumental coming from? Not la-da-dee again! When you really just don't care about your artistry so much that you don't even put words on your songs. You instead go la-da-dee. Okay, you know what this is kind of giving? It's giving Walmart Dua Lipa. What's more generic than Walmart? Dollar General Dua Lipa? Military supply store Dua Lipa? I really didn't think I was going to be sitting here going, Witness is a masterpiece. I mean, at least this chorus has a hook and a melody. She's lost me. You're losing me. When you la-da-dee, you start losing me. Who is listening to this? Who is this for? If you want to turn up, listen to Dua Lipa. If you want to feel hopeful, listen to Chapel Roan. I'm like getting distressed. If you want to lose brain cells, listen to Katy Perry, I guess. This makes Radical Optimism truly look like a masterpiece. Like an album that has never been done before by anyone in this world. I thought Radical Optimism was kind of generic, but there's so much more personality on it than whatever this absolute hogwash is. These boring ass house beats too. It's like, you know, there is a place and a time for kind of vapid, insipid lyrics when there's a really fun beat behind them. It can feel almost like it's deliberate, like a deliberate choice, but there is no good beat here to go with the insipid lyrics. So what you're saying is you just want to make bad songs and we're supposed to buy them. And we're supposed to think that you are a vanguard of the industry. We are supposed to think that you are a legend. You know, at a certain point, folks, when the bad starts to outweigh the good in your career, when you make 2 good albums and you make 5 average or bad albums, at what point do we start going, this is not a main pop girl? I mean, she's not. She's clearly not a main pop girl. No one cares. No one's listening to the songs. I'm His, He's Mine, again, failed to chart in any country on Spotify. No one's listening. You might have thought that after the response to Woman's World and Lifetimes and the absolute resounding cricket to I'm His, He's Mine, Tate McRae's single got more streams. It like got double or triple the amount of streams that I'm His, He's Mine got after a premiere at the VMAs. When it starts to all go wrong, where is the Situation Room? Again, Capitol Records, marketing, publicity. So many people had to say yes to putting this out in the world, to devoting resources to this album and this album campaign that would not get to go to other artists with actually good music and good projects that they believed in and cared about. I have to wonder, like, Are they stupid? Is there something wrong at Capitol Records? Something is wrong. Something is very wrong at Capitol Records, because to not even see the response to Woman's World and take a beat and say, let's regroup. That's not an unprecedented thing to happen in the pop music industry, by the way. Ariana Grande released Focus. I actually liked Focus and thought it was good, and it did pretty well, but it was underwhelming compared to the era that she'd had before. Ariana listened to the feedback and was like, okay, I see people are saying that this kind of just looks like a rerun of Problem. Let me go back and rework it, and let me come up with Dangerous Woman, something that is actually sufficiently different to what I've done before and sounds good. Why don't I go back to the drawing board? This is the beauty of being able to release a single. When you have the album locked and loaded and ready to go, that does not mean that you can't be agile and you can't change it up. When you devote this kind of a budget to a project and you intend to promote it the way that they have promoted this slop, you would think that you would just go the extra mile, spend the extra money, and come up with something else. Because this was entirely predictable. Everything that I'm hearing today is exactly what I was expecting to hear. And it was shown to me. And it was shown to the world. And the world said, we don't want this. And yet, nobody moved. You know why? Because Katy Perry doesn't care about making good music. No, she doesn't. Her label doesn't care about her doing well. I don't know why, but they don't. And yeah, this video is probably like the strongest hateration vibes I've ever given. And it's because I feel like pop this year has been so excellent, and there are so many divas out there bearing their souls, and not even doing that, just going out of their way to come up with interesting, innovative music and interesting, innovative ways to sell that music and to share that music with the world. When I have to sit here and look at this and pretend that it's even in the same universe as everything else that's gone on this year, I'm silenced. Thankfully, there's only a few more songs to go. Lifetimes is the most boring thing I've ever heard in my life. And at this point, I'm pissed, so I'm skipping it. Actually, you know what? Let's just listen to a little bit of it. At least the production on this track is not as answering machine as the rest of the record. Why are the beats so sparse? Like, why do they sound so empty? It sounds industrial and like not in a cool 90s way. In like a we didn't master this record properly kind of way. Okay, average, beyond. The next song I have heard her say is her favorite song. It's called All the Love, and I believe this is dedicated to her daughter. And I hope for her daughter's sake that this is a good song. Let's listen to it. Is it going to be Katy Perry on her new agey woo-woo shit again? Probably, because that seems to be, she can only do 2 notes since Prism, I guess, actually including Prism. She can do I'm his freak, I'm that bitch, I'm everything he wants and he needs, blah, blah, blah. Let me copy what everyone else is saying. Or she can do I live in California and I have $1 billion and I don't really care about what happens to people outside of my immediate vicinity. I'm going to work with Dr. Luke and meditate at the same time and say, my third eye is open, while making the worst music you've ever heard in your life. So I wonder which gorgeous mode of contemporary Katy Perry we're going to get here.
I had accepted love wasn't for me. I'd never go deep, oh no.
Okay, so spiritual. Texturally, this is a little bit more interesting. Can we get a good chorus on this album? It sounds like a Prism bonus track. I mean, at least she's singing. Okay. This is all right. That's high praise for Katy Perry, but an extremely low bar for her to clear at this point. But it's just boring. It's dull. It kind of sounds like a 2010 Bruno Mars song with like a house beat, you know? I have 4 more songs to listen to. It's not funny. Thanks for not being absolute low down gutter trash. Thanks for being just okay. I guess that is the bar that we're trying to clear here. Up next is a song called Nirvana. I'm going to guess this is more of the same from All the Love. Does she ever actually speak in complete sentences on this song? It's literally all like sentence fragments. We're missing connective words here. I love it when ChatGPT becomes sentient and makes music. This is a slog, girls. I could be listening to the Torture Poets department. I could be listening to Deeper Well. And ordinarily, I do not want to listen to Deeper Well. But I'm crying for it right now. I'm screaming. I'm begging. What is this about? This is just about like dancing. Take a ride on my rainbow. See, when you do Kids Bop, when you do children's birthday card, again, Katy Perry, most cliche writer of all time, Nirvana is an extremely overplayed trope, this idea of a paradise. So if you're gonna do something that's been done a million times, perhaps you could create a soundscape that sounds like a Nirvana I would like to go to. But this is the kind of Nirvana I would attend and be like, is this like the coach of Nirvanas? Is there a business class? Is there a first class? I don't know. Wasn't what I was expecting when I was promised Nirvana. Up next, and we have to laugh, is a song called Artificial. If this is a meditation on the world being fake and Katy Perry being real, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it because this artificial is actually too generous of a word to describe the Katy Perry that I am encountering these days. Artificial, hologram, soulless, devoid of personality, craven, perhaps. Artificial doesn't cut it. Artificial doesn't cut it. And let's see what she's managed to do with this title. Is this just going to be Chained to the Rhythm part 2? You guys, everybody wake up. No further expansion. Oh, for fuck's sake! This is a joke! I'm being pranked! Oh my god. Oh girl, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. You don't need to ask the question. The answer is clearer. This is gruel. I've been starving for years and I still don't want to eat the gruel. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Are you gonna love me like a human? Can you touch me in a simulation? Do you put emotions over reason? What the fuck are you talking about? You're just saying nonsense. This is actually worse than ChatGPT because ChatGPT is usually able to like have their sentences make sense. It's a language learning model, so it intakes a lot of different other kinds of examples of human beings speaking and mimics it. This doesn't even sound like you're trying to be a human being. You're just saying stuff. Are you gonna love me like a human? Can you touch me in a simulation? What does that mean? It means nothing. And I am sick of sitting here trying to come up with meanings for Katy Perry's lyrics because they don't mean anything. And as I said before, meaningless lyrics can be fun when there's a purpose, when there's a direction, when there's a message, when the production is good. Nothing like that is happening here. This is giving unholy, but like 100 times worse. Maybe we should let AI come into the music industry and feed it old Katy Perry songs because I think it could come up with better Katy Perry songs than Katy Perry can. This is unbelievable. You're joking. This is a joke, right? This is what I imagine being swallowed by a whale and rattling around in its giant mouth with all the krill sounds like. I can like hear the whale's innards digesting and I can hear its saliva swooshing. What the fuck are you talking about? You want to talk about artificial? Oh my god, that hook is disgusting. That song was like actually unpleasant to the ears. It wasn't boring. It was beyond bad. It was pointless. It was an assault. It was earblood. I think that I should get compensated for having to listen to that. Where's my victim relief fund? I'm a victim of 143 and I expect to be compensated for my time. What happened to you, Katy Perry? Where did you go? Why are you like this now? Okay, here's a song called Truth. Again, I think this one's gonna drive me up the wall because she wouldn't know what truth was if it bit her in the face. Not in song, at the very least. Dr. Luke also is not clear on what the truth is. I don't think Katy Perry was even in these writing sessions. I don't think she touched a single lyric on this. Boy, do I have some truth for you, Katy Perry. Watch my new video coming on Sunday. It might hurt, but it is the truth. Is this it? This is the whole hook? I want to know the truth. Even if it hurts me. I think the Janoskians made better music than this. This legit makes One Direction's discography look like the Beatles. Addison Rae is Mozart. This album just, it all blends together. It's all one bad dream. Oh, okay, voicemail. That's actually the theme of this record. Voicemail, answering machine, dial tone, numbers clicking, texts. Wow, another completely forgettable, indistinguishable spoon of slop. Thank God we are at the last song on this record. It's called Wonder. And I guarantee you that Shawn Mendes' flop song Wonder is the Mona Lisa and the Taj Mahal compared to this. Whatever the hell it's going to be. This is a joke. I'm being pranked. Was that her child? Oh no. Oh no. This wants to be a Coldplay song so bad. And those aren't hard to make. And this couldn't even wish to be so. Another platitudinal ballad for her daughter. Thanks. I love to hear this sandwiched between I'm his freak. At this point, it's like, Katy, the music is a passion project. It's for fun. It's like the watercolors I do. I do them in my room by myself, and then I put them in a drawer. That's where we need to be heading with it. This sounds like a song that you hear them dancing to on Geordie's Shore at the club. Like the royalty-free music they have to dub over the club music when they're in Ibiza. I can't with the child. I'm sure she's a sweet, sweet girl, and I'm sure that Katy Perry is an excellent mother, but I never asked. Okay, so bargain basement Coldplay song. Coldplay song, if you put it through a blender, I am even more appalled than I expected to be. That was utter garbage. Every single piece of it from top to bottom. There is not a redeeming moment in there. This was not created by an artist. This was created by someone who thinks that they might be able to achieve their former glory if they interpret what's popular at this current moment and they link back up with a terrible person to try and, I don't know, vomit up some unoriginal algorithm-oriented music. And you know what? The algorithms wouldn't even pick this up. The algorithms are going to pick this up and say, nobody likes that, which is why it's flopping on streaming. This shocked me. And you know what? I'm taking umbrage with all of the music industry professionals who co-signed this, who allowed this to be created, who allocated budget to create this, then heard rough cuts and said, yes, let's proceed, let's keep going, who refused to change course even after the public vehemently said, we don't want this. And at the end of the day, pop music is a product and we are consumers. And as a consumer, you have the right to say that you don't like something or that the product isn't working or that you expected something else and got something completely unexpected that you didn't want in return. And this is my consumer complaint, okay? I hate this. It's terrible and it doesn't belong in the world. This is an insult to all the other great pop music that came out this year. And I'm speechless. Zane Lowe sitting there for 50 minutes, sucking up to Katy Perry, kissing her ass, treating this music as though it deserves to stand alongside the other stuff that has come out this year is delusional. And this is why Katy Perry never gets better and why she has completely failed to evolve as an artist, because no one ever really seems to be willing to tell her that she is bad at what she does and that nobody likes it. I'm sure a very small minority of people will like this. That's just the nature of being a famous person. You're always going to have 10 people that think you're the greatest person in the world. Charles Manson had stans, okay? So the justification that some people like it is really, it doesn't fly and it doesn't cut it with me. The people that gas her up and allow this delusion, this charade to continue, the entire rollout has been mystifying and perplexing to me. In interviews, she's just completely skipping over the fact that everybody hated Women's World and that everybody's mad at her for working with Dr. Luke. She couldn't even intelligently defend herself with that one. She said, I just wanted to, so I did, and I don't think it's a big deal. Huge miscalculation. And look what it led to, karma. Karma has come to collect its return. And I think that Katy Perry insulating herself from any sort of criticism is exactly why she is where she is today. And I'm sick of giving attention to this complete slop because she's not giving it attention. There's no purity in this. There is no heart. There is no soul. There is no passion. There is no creativity. This is vacant, hollow, artificial, upsetting, devoid of truth. And, you know, Katy Cats, enjoy your slop. Couldn't be me. And we're going to get into how we got here in my Sunday video. So look forward to that and see you.